Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career with a little self-help around the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope that what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. Hey, Positive Philter listeners, it's Philip Wilkerson. I'm back with another episode. So this is just a random rambling. I have no real particular topic. I'm just kind of going off the top of the head just to at least deliver some content to the listeners. This is raw, uncut. I'm not going to edit. If I make mistakes, I'm not stopping. But so far, life has been really, really busy. I start a new job soon. My second son is on the way. I just crossed fraternity, so life's been a little hectic, and I haven't been able to put out content as much as I like for the Positive Philter. But I think the foundation or the groundwork of this podcast has been created because it's still going strong. It still has listeners. People are still commenting or giving me feedback on the episode, so I really greatly appreciate it. We have over nearly 300 people on the Facebook page. We have a few reviews, 30 reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. People have gone back and listened to old episodes that they really liked. And so it just gave me motivation to say, okay, in 2018, once things kind of even out and I can commit more time to things like this podcast, what direction it's going to go in, what topics I'm going to discuss, who I want to have as guests. So, I think that sometimes in life we have, we think that if we don't commit to something, it's just going to fade out. And I thought that about this podcast. I thought that if I wasn't able to, fully diverge all my energy for a couple months, that the podcast was going to die out. But things about momentum and things, if you laid a great foundation for something, even in your absence, it could survive. And I think that goes in regards to friendships, because I know one of my earliest episodes we talked about checking in with friends, and why you don't see your friends often. If you periodically check in and maintain those relationships, they'll survive. And honestly, for me, being as busy as I can, I haven't seen a lot of my closest friends or people that I really, really care about on a consistent basis, maybe not even at all for a couple months. And I have to find ways to check in. I use my phone, I use technology. I try to still check in with people, and as time or things get less busy, maybe I can see them more often, or maybe it's going to be really busy for a while and I won't be able to see them physically, but I'll be able to check in with them. And that's why I like this podcast, because while I might not be able to physically see my friends or put out a positive message, at least with this avenue of social media and content and technology, I can still let people know that I care about them, or still put out a positive message. So, I really thank everyone for following along for this podcast and, giving it the momentum to survive, and really appreciate all the support. If you really like the podcast, please share an old review, or share an old episode, or write a review. I have a Patreon page, which is a page where people can donate monthly to help podcast creators, fund their projects. So I'm looking. I do have a new mic. Right now, I'm using my iPhone, like I do on the go. But when time permits, I'm going to start using my new mic that was purchased with the help of my listeners and their donations and the purchasing of shirts. I'm going to look into maybe developing more merchandise like hats and shirts. I got a lot of big ideas. I got ideas for 2018, and they're written down and they're ready to go. It's just a matter of committing a little bit of time each week or so to help those ideas grow. Another thing that's helped my podcast survive or maintain was being a guest on other people's podcasts. So I've always enjoyed if people want me to be a guest on their podcast, I totally enjoy doing that. I was a guest on the Transparency Report with Alex Stone. That was a great podcast. And I was also a guest on the Movement Docs with Mike Fitzpatrick and Jacob Manley. So I love being on other people's podcasts, doing collaborations. Those are big things for me. Collaborating with others and just getting the word out and spreading that positivity, because this movement is not leaving. So thank you so much for putting up with this little mini episode. I hope that you continue to listen to Positive Filter. I hope that this is everything that gives you motivation. It keeps you motivated. Please listen to one of my old episodes. Encourage your friends to listen to old episodes, and I would definitely come out with some episodes in 2018 to keep this going. Thank you, and take care.